graphic special on animal attacks, which should be pretty good. Of course, the baseball game's on tonight. So speaking of baseball game, I was going around looking for a Boston Red Sox baseball hat for my wife, who's a Boston Red Sox fan. And I went to several stores, a Yankee clubhouse, and then I went to Modell's up on 3rd Avenue around 85th, 86, something like that. And I was around 2 o'clock, 2:30, something like that in the afternoon, somewhere in that area. And you go in and there's a place they have some stuff downstairs, and you go up these stairs, and they had 2 kids working there, and I know they didn't recognize me because, I mean, they would more likely recognize, you know, Ludacris or Nelly or somebody, but yeah. But they couldn't have. I've never been in a. I've never been in a store where they weren't patronizing. They were just. They couldn't have been more helpful.
Just wanted to be helpful. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's just. Yeah. This one kid. There was a guy and a girl. I said, "Do you have a Boston Red Sox?" I said, "No," but I said, "Let me see if I can." Just the next. I didn't have to say, "Well, do you know where I could get one?" He said, "No, but let me see if our other store has one." So he gets on a phone. Took about 5 minutes, and he called 2 different stores. And then he had to get a hold of the person in the hat department. And
as you said, that's a kind
I told him, I said, "You know, I said, man,
that's who you want working for you.
Really, you're a great employee." And
oh, good.
So here's the guy who owns the store. It's Mr. Modell. Good morning, Mr. Modell.
Hi, Mr. Morning. How are you?
Can you find out who these? You probably can find out who these 2 kids are, right?
We have a call to the manager. We're going to find out. And compliments of you. We're sending him to the Yankee game tonight to tell him how much we appreciate great customer service. And I'd like to invite you and Bo Dietl to sit behind, front row behind home plate. You can wear a Yankee hat. Maybe the Bowman will wear a Red Sox hat, and you could duke it out.
I can't go without my wife and son.
You can't go without your wife and son?
Right.
You could come with your wife and son.
I can?
Yep.
Oh, we don't want to go, though.
No, seriously, we'd love to be your guest. We have front row seats on TV. We can promote the show in the morning.
I don't care about all that, but that's very nice. But these 2 kids you got working for you, man, I mean, if all the employees, I mean, I know it's not like a setup, but, man, they were, because I was in your store a couple of years ago, and I didn't have the same experience, so somebody must have talked to somebody, because these kids are, man, they should get a raise and everything else. They were great.
Imus, if you remember, you went in and you wanted to get the bike shorts that we didn't have, and they were rude, and since that time, we have put such unbelievable, intense pressure on customer service because of your experience. I said, Imus just told millions of people all over the world, how do we make sure the next time Imus talks about Modell's, it's done with a great experience? And by the way, we have a Red Sox hat on the way to you to bring home to your wife. In fact, I got 2 hats on the way. They just hit our stores this morning.
6 and 7/8, right?
6 and 7/8. These are adjustable, but I'm going to get you a 6 and 7/8.
Oh, no, I don't want it. We don't want those adjustable ones, Mitch. What are you talking about? I want the fitted ones. The adjustable ones. What are you, nuts?
What's the size, 6 and 7/8?
Thank God you're not working at the store. Jesus God. Yeah, I want to. Well, now, just in case, Mitchell, yes, a fitted 6 and 7/8. And as long as we're talking, I was throw in a 7 1/4.
Oh, you're such an a-hole.
Depending on how the series goes.
Aren't there any Yankee fans out there?
Hey, but these kids are great. You know, I'm telling you. Somebody got the message.
Want to go to the game tonight?
No, thank you.
Okay. Anyway, we appreciate your comments. And we're a tremendous fan of yours.
Thanks, Mitchell.
Thank you.
Mr. Modell here in the Imus-Oct on 23 till the hour. Boy, that sounds like this is a big suck-up setup, doesn't it?
No, but I know it's a nice thing to do, quite frankly. I mean, found a new friend.
Well, they did get the message.
Well, evidently they did, and it worked, and it's nice to recognize a couple of employees who are doing their job well.
By the way, they were very nice at the Yankee store, too, incidentally.
Well, very good.
They're very helpful there.
You had a good afternoon, then.
Well, what are they supposed to do?
Oh, you got
sometimes, you know,
Bernie.
Bernie.
Stores all the time. They don't even talk to you. What are you talking about?
Some guy shows up in a big limo and he's got a gun hanging out the side of his pants.
Well, they don't know that.
What are you supposed to do?
They don't know that.
What do you want, Pops? Well, I mean, what? Of course they're going to be cordial.
They don't know that.
They don't know what?
I don't drive the limo. Nobody
Into the store.
Nobody knows I have a gun, and nobody knows that I got a limo.
You got Brant walking in ahead of you, opening the door, looking around. They know something's up.
No, I don't.
This was not the situation.
I don't go around with some entourage. I go around by myself.
Right, okay.
Wow, you don't know how much I hate you. Why don't you just try to imagine? 22 till the hour here in the Imus Morning program. How many sets have we done?
We've done 2.
We have done 2?
Right.
All right, here from the New York Giants, from CBS Sports, is our friend Phil Simms. Good morning, Mr. Simms.
Good morning, Imus. Now, that's good radio. I like it. Let's get it going.
I'm sorry you had to get in the midst of this ugliness, but...
No, that's okay. But, Bernard does have a point now, Don, is that it used to be you could take for granted you would get courteous, good help when you went into a store. But now when you get it, it's the exception.
Yes, it is.
So I know, it's like when you fly now. Of course, I fly every week. When I'm sitting in my seat, when I need something, I like sheepishly raise my hand. I'm like afraid to ask the flight attendant, can I have some water? Can I get you some? I get some. Can I help you? So things have changed, and everywhere. So when you get good help at a store, it makes you feel good.
You're still flying commercial?
Well, I am. Absolutely.
That's too bad.
You ought to just absolutely... You talk about people should have an aneurysm. You should have one. Now.
Why? Should I have an
Not
aneurysm?
Mr. Sims, you. God, what an attitude.
Phil Simms is sponsored by Cadillac and your local Cadillac dealer. Lots of folks in the hip-hop generation, Phil, are driving these Cadillac
Escalade.
Yeah, it's the most popular car. They're buying it, and of course, I think it's the most popular car that's being stolen too now.
Yes, you're right.
So
Good-looking car.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a good-looking car. And that's what I drive, and I enjoy it, like it.
Great vehicle.
I actually saw one when they first came out, and I just, wow, that looks pretty good. And got a good friend who's a Cadillac dealer, went up and bought one. So.
Did you watch that game to the end? You bought one?
Yeah, I bought one, yes. I'm not like you. I don't get everything free in
No,
life.
I don't get
I gotta work for my paycheck. I gotta pay my money out. I get free hats.
I pay for everything.
I like the way the Models, you said you needed. He says, hey, we'll give you one of those adjustables. You said, I need a fitted. Oh, yes, we'll get you a fitted one right
Well,
away.
yeah, I don't want something.
I mean, they just hop to.
I don't want one with a homo band. What are you, nuts?
Disgusting.
Anyway, did you watch that football game between Tampa Bay and the Colts to the bitter end the other night?
Absolutely.
Oh, you did?
Sure. I just, I don't know. I just can't turn it off. And, look, I like watching football a lot, too. So I'm one of those guys, regardless of the score, I'm usually going to watch it to the end just to see what happens. But, I thought it was a pretty exciting game, most of the game anyway, but the way it finished out was, of course, really incredible.
I couldn't. I just bailed. Because I was actually focused on the baseball game.
When did you bail out? What was the score?
28-7.
28-7, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Well, it was the last 5 minutes that were just incredible, so...
Yeah, the game was over at that point.
Tremendous, that's what everybody thought. Even when I was watching it and they made the comeback, I just turned to my wife and said, gosh almighty, nobody knows they're having this comeback. Everybody's turned their TV sets off, and of course, I read the paper or whatever, the ratings were down for the game, and fans are, when it becomes a blowout, they're going to turn over to something else.
What's your take on Rush Limbaugh and Donovan McNabb and that whole deal?
Well, what happened is what you expect to happen. When you say anything like that, you're just going to lose your job in TV, that's for sure. And I heard you last week talking to Chris Collinsworth. I was driving down to Giant Stadium, and it's so true. If you're in this business, and I don't know about you, but I know for us, you say the one wrong thing, and it's over. And even for Rush Limbaugh, as much power and everything else that he has going on for himself, and he says something that's wrong and controversial like that, it's going to cost you your job. And the right thing happens. You just can't put up with statements like that.
Well, the idea that I never understood, going back years ago, where they would talk about, how African Americans weren't bright enough, I guess is the way to express it, to play quarterback. And I always thought, whenever I would hear that, is, yeah, but look at Phil Simms and Terry Bradshaw.
Yeah, right, yes, okay, here we go.
Now, you know what I did think?
Yeah, put that hat back on.
I used to think, well, who's the quarterback at Grambling, or who's the quarterback at
Howard?
At Howard?
Sure.
I mean, it's so just on the face, so
Stupid.
preposterous and beyond racist. I mean, it's just...
Yeah, well, it is, of course.
But it is that, but it's also...
I hear, too, and this is the truth, too, and when I played sports and played for the Giants for 15 years, I heard Chris Collinsworth say this, too. Racial barriers are not, in the sports world, are nothing like they are out in the real world. And, things we used to kid around with players, you say things, you talk, you get along with them all. And when you hear how people can't do that in the outside world, you just go, wow, really? So I think sports is always is broken through barriers a lot quicker than the normal people on the outside have. It just you have no choice because you spend so much time together and you work together, and it takes such commitment from so many people to try to win a football game that it brings you close together.
But there are. It is fair to say, though, that there are members of the media who have engaged in what I describe as patronizing behavior in terms of cheerleading for various black athletes, when in fact, when in my view it wasn't necessary, but it was done anyway. People like Tiger Woods or the Williams sisters, but it wouldn't make any. The Williams sisters could be green, and they would still play tennis. I mean, it's just,
well, it wouldn't matter anyway.
No,
their marriage would stand up just for themselves. Tiger Woods, the Williams sisters, Michael Jordan. Geez, it doesn't matter what they are. When you play that well, America's going to love you when you're that good at whatever you do. So.
But there have been members of the media, that's my point to belabor it now for a second, who have patronized these people for their own politically correct ends, and it has been
unnecessary.
Totally unnecessary.
Oh, I'm sure of that. Yes, absolutely.
I know that.
And vice versa too. There's we all follow it. There's white athletes that get a lot of.
Oh, absolutely. Look at the treatment Joe Namath got when you weren't alive then, but
sure was.
But look at the treatment Joe Namath got when he came from Alabama to play quarterback for the Jets. Why the media was just fell all over themselves.
Oh, I know. Well, listen,
and nobody was screaming about that because he was it was just stupid.
Yeah, it is.
And Russia. First of all, if you read the text of Russia's comment, he fundamentally is illiterate. I mean, nobody speaks, and his syntax is, that is, it's just abysmally ignorant.
Now you're going way over my head with this syntax and all that other stuff.
Okay.
Okay, well, you just called me a dumb quarterback, and now you're throwing these words out.
I was just kidding around.
I know you are. And I heard you earlier. I enjoy watching your show when I get a chance to in the mornings, and there's Charles talking about, what was he saying about football? Oh, it's moronic. Just get it over with. Jesus, we got to talk. Hey, whatever, Charles.
Well,
Pitchers and catchers.
I have moved into, I don't know if you know this or not, it's not important.
Here we go.
But I've moved into a far more serious phase of my life now.
Oh, you have? What would that be?
Well, I no longer read fiction, even some of the great fiction. I don't watch frivolous sporting events, and a frivolous sporting event, in my view, is football.
His sport is now chess.
Yeah, Mr.
Oh,
Sims.
you're kidding.
No,
really?
I'm not kidding.
Right.
Oh, my gosh. Well,
chess and
you could put that right up next to soccer for me. That's some exciting stuff.
Well,
but
as long as...
What, are you just learning chess? Is that what it is?
Yes.
What, is Wyatt teaching you?
You're not...
No, I'm serious. I bet he's learned chess.
Yes, he has. He and I both... He takes lessons from David Goodman, who's a former junior world champion.
Wow.
And...
so, you're really educating your son. You know what he's going to do? He's going to grow up and look at you and say, wow, Dad, you are one stupid human being. I mean, that's what you're leading to here. You're giving him way too much education.
I think
he has already informed me that he's smarter than I am, and I said,
okay.
Yes, I know that. It's 14 till the hour, talking with Phil Sims from CBS Sports. Phil and Greg Gumbel do the games around the country, and this week you're doing what game?
We're going to be in Denver. Pittsburgh at Denver.
Denver ought to win that easily.
Well, nothing's easy in the league. Come on.
No, I understand that.
You're a big enough fan to know that. But, yeah, Denver's going to be home. They just got beat last week by Kansas City in a really tough game. So, yeah, Pittsburgh got beat up pretty good, too. So, they'll both be a little edgy.
Tampa Bay goes to Washington. I'll try to rebound against them.
Yeah, that'll be a good game. It'll be interesting after you have a long, tough Monday night game, I tell you, and then you travel. Even though Tampa Bay is absolutely a superior team over the Washington Redskins, their defense got to play really well and just to do what they do to win.
And the Cowboys are picking against the Eagles. Of course, it's in Dallas or wherever they play. But
yeah, I think that's right. I'm not surprised, but I'm surprised the Cowboys are not favored.
Really?
Yeah, they're feeling good about what they're doing. They believe in their coach. The fans are going to be really into the game, and the Eagles. Even though they've won their last two, it's not been easy. They're struggling. They can't do anything on offense. So I think it's going to be a tough spot, a really tough spot for the Eagles to try to win down in Dallas.
If I gambled on events, which I don't, I would bet the Packers are favored by 2 over the Chiefs, and the game's in Green Bay, I guess, or they will never beat the Chiefs, ever. They won't beat them. They won't beat them this Sunday.
Well, the Chiefs are 5-0.
Well,
And you know, when you in this, and you know, it's a tough game. I wouldn't bet it either way.
no.
But when you're 5-0 in the National Football League and you're feeling pretty good, you just beat the Denver Broncos at home.
I hope you're not betting on any of these games.
No, of course I'm not, because I like my money. I don't want to lose it, because I can't pick them, that's for sure. So it'll be tough up there for Kansas City. It really will be. It's a tough environment.
Did you see the fight between Sid and Bernie?
I did.
And?
It was, you know, I got to tell you, it was a lot of fun to watch. I thought Bernie was in incredible shape.
No.
After he got through that first minute of getting over being nervous and all that, I thought he did extremely well. And Sid, hey, you can say what all you want, and I know you said it too, but look, he went in there, he raised a lot of money for charity. He did take a good beating, I will admit. And I'm sure now you're all glad he took that beating after what he's been doing, whatever. I heard a little bit this morning. Was mean to some girl, which...
Yep, our trainer, yeah.
And you know what, you can't... Look, when you get on him, you can't hurt his feelings. You can't embarrass him. You can't make him feel bad. So, in fact, I think you make him feel better when you get on him like that.
You're right, because he's shameless.
He is shameless.
You're right.
But he didn't.
That is his greatest quality, is that he is absolutely shameless.
He didn't quit.
No, he didn't.
No.
He didn't. I got to tell you, when his nose was bleeding, and on TV, I'm sitting here watching it, you kind of have to chuckle, I'm sorry. And I just go, wow, there's some brain matter coming out of that nose with that blood. It was really something. But and he looked dazed, and oh, gosh, I don't know what he said. I didn't get to hear him on the air after that a few days, but I can imagine how sore his head and neck and shoulders were.
Oh, his neck was killing him, yeah.
Oh, I bet. You know, you ever look at these fighters. There's a reason why you can't tell the difference between their head and their shoulders, because there is no neck, and that's what you need to be a good fighter. And Sid's got that long turkey neck, so that thing was bobbing everywhere when he was getting hit. But it was a lot of fun, great event, and it was actually, watching it on TV, much better than I thought it was going to come off. Because, you know, when you get two amateurs or whatever fighting like that, it can usually be just ugly.
And it raised almost $200,000 for the ranch, so... It all worked out as you planned.
Yeah, it's great. It is good. It's good stuff, and I know that's a lot for Bernie, too, because, you know, Bernie had it all to lose. Everybody expected Sid to come in and be like he was, but Bernie, you could tell Bernie trained well and really did a terrific job.
All right, Phil, as always, thanks very much. I appreciate it.
All right, guys, thank you.
Phil Simms from CBS Sports, former Giant quarterback, won the Super Bowl, as a matter of fact, a couple times. Well, one of them he didn't play in, but he got the ring, didn't he?
He sure as heck did.
Anyway, 9 minutes now until the hour.
Imus in the morning.
My friend and I saw this great opportunity, so we decided on 8.
Get groped by a gay guy.
You know, my wife actually asked me, what would you do if we had a kid who was gay?
Yeah.
And I said, I'll disown him. That's it.
What?
I'll never talk to the kid again.
Kick him out of the house.
Kick him right out of the house. No question about it.
Find out.
Kick him out of the house.
Your wife would not let that happen.
Then I have to check my wife's drawer, of course, make sure I didn't take all of her bras and panties.
This is, I don't know, oh, man.
Yeah.
This is alarming.
Sad, isn't it, Ivan? Sad.
Well, I do realize a part of it's an act.
No.
That would be fitting to have a gay son who had a conscience. That would be great.
What's better than having a daughter?
So you're not going to. So you're not going to call Cynthia.
I'm going to call her today.
See, you already said you called her twice.
No, you're
And I'll
not.
call her for the third time.
God almighty. Oh, my God.
I'm going to tell you a story. I'm going to tell you about my town. I'm going to tell you a big bad story, baby. It's all about my town. Yeah, down by the river. Down by the banks of the river Charles. Ah, that's what's happening, baby. That's where you'll find Imus in the morning.
Greasy, Sid is sleazy and a pig.
Yeah? Well,
I've never seen a greasy. Huh? But he's still a likable critter.
how so?
I don't know. It makes me happy to see Sid suffer, this person writes.
Yeah.
What's going on in the world? Check briefly.
Well, in addition to the good figures, the jobless figures, one is Rayleigh was wounded today as another female suicide bomber, Palestinian, blew herself up at an Israeli army checkpoint in the West Bank. Military sources say the attack took place near the town of Tulkarm, which is ruled by Palestinians. So far, no claim of responsibility. But it was another Palestinian woman who blew herself up in a restaurant in the northern Israeli city of Haifa on Saturday. And in that one, of course, 19 people were killed. 2 suspects arrested in connection with the kidnap and robbery of the wife of New Hampshire Senator Judd Gregg earlier this week. Got these 2 guys, recognized the car, got them in Carteret, New Jersey, which is near New York City, of course. The U.S. military has suffered another troop loss today, result of hostile gunfire. A rocket-propelled grenade attack on a convoy killed a soldier 40 miles northeast of Baghdad in the same Sunni Triangle area where so much of this has been happening. Kobe Bryant will be in a Colorado courtroom today related to charges of the sexual assault of a 19-year-old hotel worker in June. Pope John Paul made a stand on the celibacy issue of priests in the church today. He said, quote, "The scandalous behavior of a few has undermined the credibility of many." And he also said that clergy should embrace what he called the esteemed gift of celibacy and look at the priesthood as a real spiritual calling and not simply a career. And Afghanistan, still trouble there, bloodshed continuing, and one of the worst outbreaks of fighting, in fact, between pro-government factions since the Taliban was toppled. This fighting broke out yesterday, continued overnight, and has killed or wounded at least 60 Afghan fighters.
It is 26 minutes till the hour here on the Imus-Oct program, and now on line 1, Dennis from New Jersey. Good morning, Dennis.
Good morning, Don. How you doing, buddy?
I'm all right, baby. How are you?
I'm very upset with this Sid character.
You ought to be.
Yeah, I've been listening to him ever since he's been on, and at first I kind of liked him doing sports, and he projected a pretty neat image, but this business, somebody that was gay, I mean, he's got to wake up and smell the roses. I mean, it's 2003 now,
Yeah.
and he's got to get with it.
That's it.
I agree.
Wake up and smell the pansies, actually, when you think of it.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
You're right. You're right. There's a lot going on in this world that he seems to be immune from.
He's a jerk. How about the way he treated his trainer?
Mm-hmm.
I know. Awful.
Not good.
Awful. And your show, you guys are kind of a sounding board for what's going on in the world, and he's dragging you down.
Oh, what do you think we should do?
I don't know. Send him to WOR or something.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Dennis. Here's Jeff from Chapel Hill. Good morning, Jeff.
Good morning, Don. How are you doing?
I'm all right, baby. How are you?
Oh, not too bad. Hey, listen, I think the title of most self-absorbed human being has switched from you to Sid. I'll tell you what, man, this guy he makes you wonder if they're throwing away the wrong piece of skin at his breast. What a dirtbag.
You know, he's even more self-absorbed than my longtime friend Kinky Friedman. At least, of course, Kinky has some brains.
It's just, I mean, he's the Herb Tarlick of the sports world. You guys really need to do something about this guy. Let him go a couple of more rounds with Bernie or something.
Yeah.
Gosh, that's bad news, man.
What do you do down there in Chapel Hill?
Run a handyman business, run a sports equipment business, coach a bunch of javelin throwers, jack of all trades, master of none.
So you don't run a ballet school?
Leave him alone, Bernie.
Bernie and I have had some history. Hey, I'll tell you what, don't crack Bernie. He's done some nice things for me. I got a situation down here that is not necessary or worthy of you hearing about, but he's really been a big supporter and done a lot of good stuff to help me out. So
He's a good man.
compared to what Sid would do, he'd be trying to figure out some way he could glom a couple of bucks out of it.
That's it.
Bernie is a pride of the organization. You could bring Breen back, man. Get rid of Sid.
Here on line 4 is John from White Plains, New York. Good morning, John.
Hi, ma'am. How are you?
Fine, baby. How are you?
I'm all right. I
the
just
matter?
called to get on Sid. He's just, he's so lucky he didn't go to prison with these shirts because, he'd be playing a musical instrument himself right now.
Yeah.
He doesn't realize it, but,
right.
He's just, he's out of control. He's,
Be tooting on that old skin flute, wouldn't
Yes,
he,
you
John?
would. You betcha.
I'm just, I'd leave him on the show, though, because he's good entertainment,
Yeah.
and I got to criticize you a little bit, too, man.
What's the matter?
Well, you're like Kathy Lee with the family. Enough.
That's true.
It's like enough.
You're right.
It's a lot of Kathy Lee stuff.
I
And
can't mention my wife or my kid?
You bet.
every day?
Sure.
That's what Kathy Lee did. You criticized her.
There you
Yeah.
go.
This just brings up, the dog track.
That's a good point.
Very
We're
good
getting
point.
old, We don't care what, she's speaking. I mean, she's teaching people how to wash their hands. That's all great and stuff.
That's
but
right.
She can make
every
her...
day?
You know what my wife can do?
What's that?
Make your penis green.
Ooh.
Here on line 5 is Dr. Michael Bronson. Morning, Dr. Bronson.
Lay off Sid.
Why?
Sid is the man.
How is Sid the man?
Is this the real Dr. Bronson? This can't be.
Yes. Hello, Charles.
Good morning, doctor.
I am telling you that from a medical point of view,
Yeah.
Sid took a real beating. He took a whopping
Yeah.
at Bernie's hands.
Good.
He didn't whine about it.
Right.
He didn't complain about it.
Right.
And when I went up on the ring between the second and third round and I said, "You're taking a beating. I think we should call this off." You know what Sid said?
No.
"I'm okay. Let me go."
Right.
Sid is the man.
Well, he's an
Well,
idiot.
it doesn't excuse his behavior toward his poor trainer, does it?
Well, listen, we all have our shortcomings.
I can't believe you're making excuses.
I-
What did you
My
do? Write yourself some script?
no. Sid sent me a check.
22 till 8.
Gentlemen, do you hate shopping for clothes? Do you?
I'm Janice Dean with the Toyota Fan Highway Patrol.
And now, California's governor-elect, the Honorable Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Thank you, California. With your overwhelming vote of confidence, you have touched me deeply, and I vow to return the favor. In the words of my hip-hop brothers in the hood, I am feeling you, but I do not wish to gloat over my victory or revel in my opponent's crushing defeat. In fact, I want you to support Gray Davis at this very difficult time in the aftermath of his getting his ass spanked by a misogynistic, racist, homophobic, inarticulate B-movie actor with no political experience. I ask the entire state of California to empathize.
What happened to the acceptance speech
Enough.
of the governor-elect of this great state of California?
Enough.
Well,
Time is this Kobe Bryant thing going to happen today? It isn't going to be on TV.
No, it's not.
No.
I know. I asked somebody that.
yeah,
They told me, and I forgot.
yeah.
Dope.
Who's the dope?
You're a dope.
Oh.
Thank you, Charles.
Well, what's going on, Chuck?
Big white media tents, hundreds of reporters, photographers, all packed into the area outside the courthouse in Eagle County to record whatever they're able to record when Kobe shows up there.
How close do you think we are to having this exact scenario only involving Sid
What's that?
instead of Kobe Bryant?
Oh, it could happen before the day is out.
I don't like Colorado.
No, but I mean anywhere you are, there's a chance of anything happening.
No, not in that case. No.
In fact,
But my
well,
wife-
the
Maybe
more
not,
we-
maybe not a rape case.
Right.
Well, yeah, but the
Something.
more with
Hot
each
checks,
passing day,
something.
Oh,
I am less surprised.
the rape
After
charge may be
stuff coming
leveled
out
by
of
his
this
wife.
Yeah, you really just.
Well, you know what it is? I think I offended.
Now people, by the way,
Yeah.
a certain segment of the audience is getting sick of you.
Yeah,
The majority of the audience.
A lot of them.
it probably is a majority view.
Yeah.
Sid's Wacky Adventures.
Yeah. People are just enough.
It's enough. Enough's enough. Bring back Patrick McEnroe. Bring back
Anybody.
Mike Breen.
Bring back Minko.
Minko, Warner Wolf. Bring them all back.
Let's get some scores and some insight,
Right.
some yucks.
Right.
Yeah.
Instead of this nonsense.
Yeah.
This prefabricated.
Well, it's not prefabricated. It's you do these things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
The
the stuff.
phony emails and stuff.
Yeah. You perform these hideous acts.
Yes, I do, don't I?
Yeah.
That's the thing that people don't realize that this is almost like a reality show. I mean, this is not.
No, we're
made
not
up for TV.
Oh no, we're not making it up.
No,
No.
I'm not an idiot, but I play one on TV.
Right.
I am an idiot,
Right.
and I am one on TV.
But on a serious note, I really don't understand how you don't feel any remorse and are unwilling to try to rectify the situation
I never said that.
regarding Cynthia.
I never said that. It's not that I don't feel any remorse.
Well, you said, that you had a very busy life and that she had to move on.
Right.
These are the facts.
Well, that doesn't smack of remorse.
No.
Well, we can't go by his actions. We have by what he says. We have to go by his actions.
So you want me to start crying on you like Emmett Smith
No.
after the Cowboy game last year?
Clearly, you don't care. You never phoned her. She trained you for 8 months, gratis.
And you just left her hanging.
Thank you, Bernard.
First of all, why
There's
did
the
she...
situation.
I'm kind of curious.
Yeah. That's it.
How were you able to convince her to train you for nothing?
Hi, Deirdre. How you doing?
Well, because what happened was, it was, while she trained me, obviously I brought other clients to her. Lots of them, by the way, lots. And I'm very happy because she's a terrific trainer and an adorable girl, and I love Cynthia, I really do. And I have every intention of training her with her again somewhere down the road.
Oh, Jesus, God almighty. You are just such an awful, horrid human being. It's frightening, isn't it, Charles?
Words.
I don't know why I'm so
Now
awful. I don't know.
elude me.
I don't know why. Because
can't even
I don't
describe
have time to
this
call my
guy.
trainer in the week of the busiest week of my life during the fight.
No. It's what you promised her.
Well, because
And then when you stiffed her, you didn't even call her.
Well, because I have an opinion on a certain segment of the population.
We're not shrinks.
Have you been following this morning, Deirdre?
It's very, very disturbing, but not surprising.
Yeah.
But the person that should be disturbed the most and should really watch out on how things go in their relationship is his wife.
Yeah.
Because this is just an example of what he could possibly do in his marriage.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, something else comes along.
Thank you.
Things aren't working out that great.
Exactly.
Life is busy.
Right.
She's fat from
Before you know
having
it, that's the excuse he's going to tell his wife. Well, honey, things got so busy, I was away.
What's going to happen when she's pregnant?
Well, a lot of times that's unfortunate.
She is pregnant.
And
Now,
she's
when?
pregnant now.
Yeah.
Because it's everything like a foundation. There's no integrity there, Sid.
Yeah.
I disagree.
Well, we know you disagree. We already know
That's
that.
the problem.
Yeah, that is a fundamental problem.
So I just hope your wife knows that.
Speaking of trouble in
But
marriages,
it is troubling.
My wife's a very
there's
bright
a lot
woman.
of-
My wife's an attorney, and she's been with me for 11 years. So it must
Did
tell
you hear
some
what
story.
you just said?
What's
Did
that?
you hear what you just said, Sid? You said my wife deals with me. That's already, it reveals the kind of relationship you have. She has to deal with you.
Good point.
did you have to fend your husband off, by the way?
Oh,
No. Let's get to
yes, I
discussion.
Don,
What happened?
Don,
I do
what?
have to say something here.
No, you don't.
Because this is another dispute.
No. You don't have to say anything.
I'll make him leave you alone.
That is definitely toxic because you and Sid, I don't know.
No, what are you talking about?
What did he do?
No, we don't
Don
need
has a different problem.
No, we...
than Sid.
What happened? I mean, this is not good.
I don't know. I think part of it is influenced, believe it or not, by watching all this election coverage with the groping with Arnold, because he turned into a groper.
No, you're kidding me. I'll come to your
Luckily,
defense.
he was just groping me. I mean, which I guess is fine.
He was trying. Oh man.
But Charles,
I'm appalled.
it got to the point where it was just
Get off the phone.
out of control.
Are you kidding me?
9 minutes down to the hour.
Heard.
Oh, gosh, we gotta go.
And in front of people and guests we had here.
That is absolutely a vicious
That's a little
lie.
embarrassing.
That is a vicious lie.
You
Okay, Don. What happens when?
Hello?
I don't even know if I say
Hello?
about turning the air
Can
conditioner.
you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello? I can't hear you. Hello?
I can't believe it. You pig. You slut.
Got $10. We'll bring him down to Tower Records this weekend to fill the holes in your record collection and your...
Him and his fellow Republicans squirming like a worm on a hook when they have to talk about existing weapons of mass destruction. Before the war, there were 100,000 liters of this, 200,000 pounds of that, 250 long-range missiles, and so on and so on. Now the line bosses have switched the rhetoric to weapons of mass destruction programs. Which is true. The sooner we get rid of these lying, conniving, opportunistic pigs, the better. Okay. Well, anyway.
Person overlooked a couple of things.
Rumsfeld should be down in Guantanamo.
What are they overlooking?
Well, the fact that this was the admission of the information from the Iraqis themselves.
What was?
That there were vast stores of unaccounted for various substances, anthrax, botulinum toxin, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, but we were led to believe that we.
Well, I know, but I mean
mushroom clouds over Detroit.
I understand, but that overlooks that. That's all.
But they got rid of the biggest weapon of all, which was the regime itself. How about that?
Indeed.
Yeah, but that wasn't what we were all told. was it?
No,
hey.
not at all. Of course not. We were led to believe that
just
they
keep
were
it real.
about to use them on us. They were giving them to the terrorists, and we might have a city go up in a mushroom cloud.
Yeah, that's what we were told.
Because they had a hidden agenda. They wanted to rush in. They lied. They misled.
Yeah.
They led us to believe there was Al-Qaeda camps within Saddam Hussein's Iraq, and there were none.
Yeah.
They led us to believe they had nuclear weapons, WMD, and there were none. That they were poised to use them.
Right. Now what?
Because they had a hidden agenda.
No, I'm merely saying the United Nations accounting of the materials that existed in 1991.
Sure.
And were never accounted for.
15 years ago.
Absolutely. Granted, all I'm saying is that a person like that, from whom you received that email,
Here's another line.
overlooks that,
Skunk said Rosenberg.
that material.
So good morning, Sid.
Hey, how are you? How about those Cubs? Huh? Yeah. Also, the Yankees are done. It's
Charles
over.
hates the Cubs.
I don't know why Charles hates the Cubs.
Well, because they're the Cardinal fan.
Wow.
A bunch of skunks. Sammy Sosa's a cheating bastard.
Yeah.
One of the greatest players in the history of the game.
That's right.
Can't take that away from him.
Yeah.
Can't take it away from him.
Of course you can.
Can't take the fact away that he cheats either.
Can't take it away.
You know how many times he hit a home run with a cork?
Why would you endorse somebody? Why are we surprised or not surprised that you would endorse somebody who cheats?
He didn't cheat. He was looking for a competitive edge. That's
He grandstands, cheats.
Jesus, God, what's wrong with you?
Everybody needs a little help every once in a while. It's a competitive edge. Cheating is such a dirty, nasty word, I mean.
Right, something, sort of being blazoned on your tombstone. Lying, cheating bastard. Honest to God.
Listen, I just want to tell you right
horrid
now,
human being you
if I
are.
find out today that I'm having a son, I fully expect that you'll be there for the bris. And if it's, in the time of the show, we'll have to take the day off. I'd like you there when my son is, when they cut his packet. I'd like to have you there.
I circumcised my own son.
Really?
The doctor actually let me do that.
I'd be more impressed if you told me why it circumcised you, to be quite frank.
What?
If they circumcised the eye man, they wouldn't know where to start. That's the problem.
To do it, they kick sit in the chin. After 10 o'clock. Or Charles.
They wouldn't know where to start?
No, if they circumcised the eye man, they'd just have to skin him. That's a problem.
With that push-button penis?
You really are, sis.
How's it working out for you, man?
What a bunch of pigs.
Copyright 2003, Infinity Broadcasting. All rights reserved. Imus in the Morning is a presentation of WFAN and Westwood One Entertainment.
It's WFAN's high-low game. The longer you listen, the better your chance to win up to $2,000 a day and be a part of a Mets broadcast next spring. Just listen to Mac and Sid in middays and Mike and the Mad Dog in the afternoon here on your flagship station for Imus in the Morning and New York sports all day. The Fan, Sports Radio 66, WFAN New York, an Infinity Broadcasting Station. WFAN 2020 Sports.
Manning with a lead at first. There he goes. The pitcher's a fly ball deep to right field. It's way back there. It's on its way. And there it goes into the upper deck. A two-run home run for David Ortiz. The Red Sox strike.
For high-low. WFAN's high-low contest, where you can win up to $2,000 a day. We'll take a random caller right now. 1-800-821-6611 for two chances to guess today's high-low jackpot amount. Low number is $500. High number, $2,000. The jackpot is always in whole dollars. Guess the correct amount, and you're a winner. If not, we will play high-low every hour through 6 o'clock. If there's no winner by 6, we'll open the phone lines and take calls till we get a winner between 6 and 6:30. That means there's a guaranteed winner today and every weekday. The longer you listen, the better your chance to win. All daily winners will be eligible to be part of a WFAN Spring Training 2004 Mets radio broadcast. It's high-low from your flagship station for New York Sports, The Fan, Sports Radio 66, WFAN New York.
Hi, I'm Christopher Columbus. Action figure.
Susie, are you ready?
Yes, I am, Susan.
Okay, you've been listening?
I actually missed it last hour, but other than that, I have been.
Okay, all right. First guess.
1854.
Too low. One more.
1918.
Too high. Sorry, Paul.
Okay.
Oh, dear. 1918, I know what that is. Congratulations to Joe Toscano of Ivoryton, Connecticut. Does nobody listen to the show in New York? Another Red Sox person coming down with Yankee tickets. All right, why not? My thanks to Bob Clappish, Steve Buckley, and pitching coach for the Red Sox, Dave Wallace, to Mark Malusis and Matt Deutsch on the other side of the glass. I'm Susan Waldman, heading over to the stadium. Enjoy the game, everybody. Mike and the Dog coming up. Here's Rich Ackerman.
The Fan, WFAN New York, an Infinity broadcasting station. WFAN 2020 Sports.
Last night, the Yanks got a dose of their own medicine. The Red Sox picked a dog show live from the stadium beginning shortly until 8 today. There he is, the lone doer, getting the job done with Nextel's Instant Connect plan. With unlimited walkie-talkie, he can spring into action at a moment's notice, wherever he is. And with 500 anytime minutes and unlimited nights and weekends, there's nothing he can't do, all for just $39.99 a month. Get it done when it needs to get done. Get Nextel. Call 800-NEXTEL-9 or go to Nextel.com. Ask for the Instant Connect plan. Nextel. Done. Offer ends December 31st, 2003. 2-year agreement required. $200 early termination. Account setup fees, taxes, charges, and other restrictions apply. Phones by Motorola. See store for details. Legal disclaimer. Done.
Are you more He-Man than Human? Do you carry your lunch in a cooler? Shower after work instead of before? Have you ever accidentally swallowed a washer? Or ever licked mayonnaise off your finger only to realize it's joint compound? If so, then get yourself down to Bob's Stores for Worktoberfest now. That's right, hombre, Worktoberfest. A celebration of the year's best prices on the area's biggest selection of Carhartt, Dickies, Timberland Pro, Dunham, Rocky Boot, Magnum, Georgia Boot, Skechers Work, BCC Workwear, Levi's, Lee, and more. It's all on sale and in stock now at Bob's. Check out Timberland Pro waterproof work boots for $71.99. Carhartt denim short coats for $64.99. And Dickies work pants for just $13.99. Plus, get to Bob's today and register to win the all-new 2004 Ford F-150 XLT Super Cab or a Stihl chainsaw. If you can run a backhoe while eating a grinder and ordering cement on your cell phone, then get yourself down to Bob's Stores pronto for Worktoberfest, going on now.
Mike and the Mad Dog live from Yankee Stadium is brought to you by Town Fair Tire, rated the best place to buy tires. By Subway, good so you don't always have to be. Subway, eat fresh. And Union State Bank, do business with us, do better with us. Serving the metropolitan area.
Mike and the Mad Dog, Sports Radio 66, WFAN. They're talking sports, going at it as hard as they can. It's Mike and the Mad Dog on the Fan. Nothing can get by 'em, turn it on and try 'em. Mike and the Mad Dog, WFAN.
Good afternoon, everybody. How are you today? The Mike and the Mad Dog Radio program live, Yankee Stadium, on a Thursday in New York. Good to have you with us. Yes, network, of course, and WFAN. 718-937-6666. Mark Malusis, Chris Collin, of course, help us out. The Mike and the Mad Dog Radio program right until about 8:18 for Game 2. After Red Sox Nation had a little celebration last night for Game 1. Good afternoon there, Mike, and how are you?
They sure did. They from community. Why, with all the fags at the high school, you just sound like a degenerate.
Yeah, which of course is
degenerate Yahoo.
Exactly.
I'm a man's man, man. That's what I am.
Jesus, God, you are such an idiot.
Swarmy, suave, debonair.
Oh, please. 11 minutes now till the hour. Well, now we play the Twin Peaks promo. You really are a moron. God, how's that working out?
Diane, 9 a.m. Case number is 11219er. You'll have a copy of the file on your desk by the time you receive this. Victim, 17-year-old white female, dead, bound, and wrapped in plastic. Cause of death, unknown. Says here she was the homecoming queen.
Imus in the morning.
This week is National
Happening. This is Rich Ackerman with 2020 Sports on WFAN, the flagship station for New York Giants football.
Vacation on your mind? Put the concept Continental Airlines World MasterCard from Chase in your hand. Earn double Continental One-Pass miles when you shop at Best Buy, Bed Bath & Beyond, Macy's, on Continental ticket purchases, and more. With double miles and 10,000 bonus miles when you become a card member, you'll be taking off before you know it. Call 1-800-GO-1-PASS. That's G-O, the number 1, P-A-S-S. Chase, the right relationship is everything.
Credit cards are issued by Chase Bank USA N.A. Subject to credit approval. Annual fee terms and conditions apply. See Chase website for details.
Christopher Russo live at Fenway Park is brought to you by Town Fair Tire, rated the best place to buy tires. BMW NY Motorcycles, your local authorized BMW motorcycle dealer. BMWNY.com. And Union State Bank. Do business with us. Do better with us. Serving the metropolitan area.
Nice to have you aboard on a Saturday here in Boston, getting ready for Game 3 of the American League Championship Series. Roger Clemens, Pedro Martinez. Hi, everybody. Christopher Russo. Historic right here.
Visit your New York, New Jersey, Connecticut Volvo retailer or call 877-24-VOLVO for details.
Ow. Oh.
Hey, Jim.
Waterhouse.com/radio. So you're going to open a TD Waterhouse account?
Yeah, as soon as I can sit down again. TD Waterhouse Investor Services, Inc., member NYSE, SIPC. Access to services and your account may be affected by market conditions, system performance, or for other reasons. Other conditions and restrictions apply.
Sports Radio 66 WFAN, New York.
Nice to have you with us on this busy Saturday afternoon. Red Sox and Yankees later. Florida State, Miami underway in Miami.
With the latest Intel Centrino mobile technology, and CompUSA will match any local advertised price. Plus, give you in-home training and installation free. CompUSA, unmatched. Certain conditions apply. Savings after mail and rebates. Quantities limited. See store for details.
History is brought to you by New York City Off-Track Betting in the 97 Verizon Business DSS.
Sports Radio 66 WFAN, New York.
Eddie Coleman will join us momentarily. Matter of fact, I can put Eddie on here before we say goodbye. Matt, get him in that studio. I want to talk about Fenway. Let's first do Robert on a car phone. He's on a fan. Robert, how are you, babe?
Hey, dog. First off, no sympathy for the crack committee, all right? You got yours. But moving on, just a little scenario. You tell me what you think. If Pedro comes in here this first inning and gets close and brushes back somebody, especially this guy Rivera starting off the game today, or Soriano, and gets out of the inning and Clemens comes up, any shot, a little message?
Oh, I think that will definitely happen, Robert, and thanks for the call. I mean, no question about it. I think if Martinez gets it started with a little chin music, I would expect Roger to do the same thing. Listen, I don't think it's going to be a headhunting scenario, but if Pedro gets one up close, yeah, I think Roger would reciprocate. Why not? Park is in Groton, Connecticut. Park, how are you?
Yeah,
Park?
It's Groton.
Oh, Groton, I'm sorry. What's going on?
Yeah, a couple of things. First off, do me a favor and root for the Yankees, will you? I know you're luck with the Giants. I'm a Red Sox fan.
You're a Red Sox fan, and you're a little worried about me rooting for the Red Sox here.
Yeah, also, from what I remember I think it was Torrey's last All-Star game. He was joking around one time talking about they should have an on-deck designated on-deck batter, or designated on-deck batter. And that always got me laughing and thinking that Joe is definitely the classiest manager I've ever seen for baseball.
No, he's excellent. And I like what he said in his little press conference that will be played back for you, that that 99 thing meant a lot to him, getting that standing ovation when he did after the cancer surgery. I remember that night. It was in early June, I think, and he came here and they gave him a huge ovation. They gave Clemens a good ovation. Now, let's face it. I mean, we can sit there and argue New York all day. St. Louis, and obviously is right there. Detroit used to be, believe it or not, the best baseball town in America right this second. Might be it is right here. I mean, I know New York is there with the Yankees, but, New York, I'm not sure if they're showing up if we stink. And you think Boston, you're here. And this is the best. This is pound for pound. This is the best baseball town in America.
You think if anybody put a buck on the Cubs Sox series back in January in Vegas, they're kicking themselves in the ass they didn't put any more on?
That's a guy. Yes, I do. I mean,
I could retire if I put $5 on.
Yeah, you would. I mean, this is the closest we've ever had, I think, since 1918, where right now we are 5 games away from a Cub-Red Sox World Series. Is Eddie with us there for a sec?
I'm here. Just hearing you at Fenway Park sends shivers down my spine, you know?
Eddie, it's so good to hear you, buddy. Eddie, first off, I'm okay. When was your first trip to this ballpark? You're from here. You're a huge Red Sox fan. You're a great sports fan. When was your first trip to Fenway Park?
First trip, I think, was in 1957. I was 8 years old. And I guess the day I remember most is watching Ted Williams hit his final home run there. I was sitting with my dad on the third baseline.
You've told me that in the past. That's right. You were in the ballpark that day when he hit that home run, huh?
Yep, absolutely.
Now, why was there nobody here that day, Eddie? Do you have any recollection?
It was late in the year. They only had one series left, I think, with the Yanks. I think they went down to New York. He didn't play, and I can't even remember who it was against, to be honest with you, Chris. But, I mean, they were going nowhere again. And, that was usually the fate of the Red Sox during the Williams years. You know, they were not that good a team. So, but it was great to see him, and everybody knew it was going to be his final game. He kind of said that beforehand. So, there were enough people there, but it was, I think
it was against the Orioles, I think.
Yeah, it might have been the Orioles, yeah. I think
and he hit the home run.
Right.
How about 67, Eddie? How many days did you, you were not in college yet, were you?
I had entered Syracuse that September, so I was not there for, everything that happened in September and October. Of course, I watched from school, but that summer was great. All I remember is, one thing I remember distinctly about that summer is having my 4 wisdom teeth extracted when they were playing, I believe it was the Tigers in a key series. It was in August or whatever, and I woke up from my sedation at the time, and the first words out of my mouth were, "How did Yaz and the Sox do last night?"
Wow, how about that?
Yeah, the first words out. And they had won that night, as a matter of fact. And Yaz just had a season for all seasons. I mean, it's one of the great seasons ever in baseball history.
Do you still have the Red Sox passion on a day-to-day basis, Eddie, or not?
You know what, Chris? After a while, it gets a little subdued over time, simply because you've been through it so many times. You've been through the ringer with them, and you've seen them come close. And 86 was a killer. There were a lot of years. I mean, 75 was tough. 78 was probably tougher. 67 was fun because they weren't even supposed to be there, so it didn't matter whether they won or lost in the long run, and they lost in 7. But it didn't matter. The thing is that I think over time it gets a little more subdued, but at the same time, when they're at this point and they have a shot and they have a good team, and they do have a shot in this series, there's no question, it rekindles. You go back, and I don't think you ever lose when you get to Fenway Park and you stand there. That's why it's such a great place to see ball, and that's why I agree with you that the fans are great up there, too, because you get to Fenway Park, it all changes for you.
And your dad was a huge Red Sox fan, right?
Yeah.
Growing up.
He was born in 1910. He was 8 years old when they last won, and all he wanted to do was see them win again, and he never saw them win again.
Did he remember the 1918 World Series?
Yeah, he did. He told me a little bit about it. Those were tough times for him and his family. So he was not a guy who was going to games at that point in time, but he remembers the Sox winning that year, and he used to talk about it a little bit. And but he wanted them desperately to win again. He never got to see that.
Eddie, enjoy the afternoon. Thanks for
I will. You
buddy.
too. You're there, man. Have a good time.
Okay, Eddie C., of course. Good job, Matt Deutsch. Great job, Brian Ferguson. Kristen Depp did a great job for Kip did a great job for us today as well. John Schmelk, we'll see you tomorrow after Giants postgame. We'll be right here for game number 4. Enjoy the baseball this afternoon, and Eddie C., of course, too. Here's the update with Axe, Sports Radio 66.
It's WFAN's high-low game. The longer you listen, the better your chance to win up to $2,000 a day and be a part of a Mets broadcast next spring. Just listen to Mac and Sid in middays and Mike and the Mad Dog in the afternoon here on your flagship station for Imus in the morning and New York sports all day. The Fan, Sports Radio 66, WFAN New York, an Infinity broadcasting station. WFAN 2020 Sports.
Game 3 of the ALCS gets underway in a little more than an hour from now. The series is even at 1, and this afternoon promises to be an emotional day as Roger Clemens makes his final start at Fenway Park. And a dream pitcher.
The two people-looking guys with the big faces. Yeah. I kind of feel sorry for him, but you're absolutely right. Once he was on the ground, at that point, where was the ball bag guys over there? If they threw my grandfather on the floor like that, This guy, if he threw my father on the floor, my grandfather, father, or grandfather,
Yeah, maybe I know.
I would have cracked him in the face. I would have went and cracked him in the face. Where was my man, my big guy, my big pitcher? Oh, no. Clemens could have taken that guy and thrown him over the dugout. At that point, he's on the ground. Everybody's holding everybody back. That's when, let me at him. You know, same nonsense. Yeah, hold me back, let me at him. At that point, somebody should have walked over to him and said, hey, Pedro, cool down, cool. You walk over and you crack him right in the face.
Yeah.
I bring gifts for you, sir.
That's just great.
I brought gifts this morning, money. I got money. I got everything. Now, can I talk a little bit?
No, we're out of time. We're going to have to go to commercials here.
Yeah. All right, good.
Coming up on 3 minutes after the hour.
Go out and play. Explore. Use your imagination.
Would think that he would think, well, wait a minute. What does Imus' wife do? They're greening like hospitals. And why would I want to bring Windex? So then he says he leaves it up to me to get. It's not my responsibility to provide an appropriate workplace. It's theirs. I mean, it's stupid. Anyway, 5 minutes after the hour, you're on the Imus Morning program on the radio all over the country, syndicated by Westwood One Entertainment. We're part of Infinity Broadcasting. Also simulcast on MSNBC, Monday through Friday from 6 to 9 a.m. Eastern Time. 7 o'clock tonight, hardball. The game doesn't start. What time does the game start tonight? 8? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, so hardball at 7 with Chris Matthews. He'll be at Harvard. It'll be worth watching with John Edwards, and then with the baseball game, and who plays some football tonight? Falcons on some of that.
The Rams.
Falcons and the Rams. Make me watch that. Come on. So you watch the Yankees and Red Sox?
Absolutely.
Anyway, Charles has headlines, then we'll talk to Bo Dietl. It's also here. Bo's appearance sponsored by NetJets and by Joey Potts and Pan's hideous spaghetti sauce.
Not hideous, it's delicious.
Yeah, they are. So, anyway, here's Chuck. Good morning, Charles.
Morning, man. Just some headlines relatively quickly here. A U.S. counterterrorism authority says some of the terrorists who prompted this nationwide warning, you may recall last month, have been captured and have since confirmed plans for another attack in the United States. Homeland Security Department says the detainees have indicated they were planning multiple simultaneous attacks. Nothing specific about them, though, but some of those involved in the planning of such attacks are reportedly still on the loose, though they do have some of them. A U.S. soldier is dead, another hurt after an armored vehicle they were riding in drove over a landmine in northern Iraq. Earlier in the day, apparently a two-car suicide bomb attack, still some dispute about that, whether one or two vehicles was involved, nevertheless blew up and killed a half dozen Iraqis and hurt dozens more in Baghdad. President Bush will seek to bypass what he is calling the filter of the media to make his case on Iraq. He will give a series of interviews to regional TV outlets that don't regularly cover the White House. Mr. Bush wants to make the case that the situation in Iraq is improving, but that fact is not being reported adequately by the major news media. Egyptian twin boys have their first chance at independent lives after surgery separated the 2-year-olds. The conjoined twins, they were joined at the head, were successfully separated during this marathon procedure in Dallas that required the work of some 60 personnel, physicians and nurses overall, who rotated in and out during this 34-hour procedure. The boys' vital signs are stable, but they will remain in a drug-induced coma for the next few days as they recover. And after months of campaigning, Representative Dennis Kucinich formally launches his bid today for the Democratic presidential nomination. He'll make the announcement in Cleveland, the first stop on a 12-state tour.
Really ruined that city back when he was a mayor. It's 8 minutes after the hour. Well, here's our official position on the Don Zimmer deal. Well, Pedro Martinez is a punk. Everybody knew that anyway.
That's given.
That's a given.
Sure.
But Pop's got to stay on the bench. And don't be running out there taking a swing at him. And then once he did, Martinez easily, did we find it amusing? Yes. If he'd have been hurt, would we have found it amusing? No.
Here we go.
But, you can't, if you're Pop, you can't run out there and take a swing at the guy. And what could have Pedro the punk done? He could have got him in a bear hug. There was a lot of things he could have done. Then what should have happened after that? After Pop's on the ground, somebody from the Yankees should have shown some guts, like Jorge Posada shooting his mouth off, or Giambi, or some of the, or Nick Johnson, or somebody. Got some pretty Garcia. Got some pretty big guys in the Yankees. Clemens. Somebody should have walked over there and punched him in the face, but they didn't because they're overpaid pretty boys, and and gutless. So now it's out. But Zimmer's got me. It's like your drunk grandfather at the birthday party. I mean, you got to calm down.
God bless him, he's old school.
I know he's old school, but he's got a plate in his head. His health is hideous.
I mean, other little sissies that go out there.
He's off the bench going out to the...
You got to say the guy's got some quinoon.
Oh, absolutely.
No doubt. Let's take the guy ran out there to a young guy.
He charged Pedro, took a swamp.
But it should have been for the secondary. Should have been for the secondary punch in the face to Pedro.
He's lucky Pedro, the kind of punk he is, he's lucky he didn't smack him in the mouth.
Pull a knife.
Let's get, before we go to the nonsense, let's go to Jim Cummings in Dallas on the separated twins. Good morning, Jim.
Good morning, Don.
What's the latest on this? A miraculous deal, huh?
It really is. Over 33 hours, they separated the twins. They actually separated the blood supply going to their brains, and now the doctors say they're in a what they call a medically induced coma for 3 to 4 days.
Kind of like I've been in since the 70s, huh?
That's right. These are 2-year-olds, and they're a little rambunctious, and after that, they'll assess their prospects for recovery, but they say it's promising.
Now they did think that they each had independently operating brains. Clumsy way to phrase that, but
right? Yes, they did. Yeah. No, they said the brains were definitely separate.
But they shared the blood supply, obviously.
That's right.
Yeah.
Of course, the big concern is during surgery like that is the loss of oxygen to the brain.
Right.
But they're doing fine, and the doctors were unbelievable. 33 straight hours. They worked in shifts, and something like 5 or 6 neurosurgeons. A lot of high-powered medical ability there.
And then after they got them separated, then individual teams then went to work on each child, right?
That's right. They were on a special table built just for this operation. $100,000 it cost, and it split in two once that they were separated so that they could work on them separately.
Wow.
All right, Jim. Always nice to talk with you. Thank you very much. Jim Cummings, who did outstanding work, by the way. Remember when the shuttle blew up?
Yeah, exactly.
It came apart or whatever the hell happened to it.
Yeah, disintegrated, never, whatever. Yeah.
He was all over the place, all over that area. He's stationed in Dallas, Jim Cummings. Good report.
He's a terrific report.
Anyway, 11, almost 12 after the hour. Bo Dietl, good morning, Bo.
Good morning, Don. That's a great story. I say a prayer for them kids. That's a great story. You know, when this fight occurred between Bernie and Sid, there was somebody that came up to the plate right away, and he offered $5,000 a round. And it's a friend of mine, Jimmy Benz. Now, Jimmy Benz is an attorney from Philadelphia. He's also the head of the WBA, and I need Bernie in here because it's going to be a very nice presentation here.
What is the WBA?
The World Boxing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and the thing is that the Hebrew Hammer, whether Sid wanted to, he left him again like he did with his poor trainer. This guy, Jimmy Benz, named Sid the Hebrew Hammer. Wanted to train him, says, he wanted him to stick up for the Jewish fighters and all. There were great Bonnie Ross. There were some great Jewish fighters. And there's going to be something here that I want you to give to him. This is something.
Want me to give to who?
No. Sid's going to give it to Bernie.
Oh.
This is a reward. This is an award that was given.
So Bo has a metal suitcase here. And,
oh, God, that's great.
Oh, that's fabulous. Oh, it's a belt.
It's the WBA belt. You can see we got it in gray.
Spirits appear October 2nd, 2003.
How great is that?
Bernard McGirt, champion. I'm in the morning. What else is to say? Let me get my glasses on. God, this belt weighs a ton.
It's a facsimile of the real belt. I'd like Sid to award it to him.
You award that to
Now, on top of that, Sid forgot about it, and because here's something else. Because of all my Jewish friends and all that, and Abe Foxman, the anti-defamation law.
What does a Jewish thing got to do with it?
Because he's a Jewish fighter.
Okay, right.
It's a disgrace.
Right.
He was only supposed to get $15,000. Instead, Mr. Benz gave $25,000 to the Amish Ranch. That's a check for $25,000. And tonight at Nino's restaurant, boys, I want you guys to be there. Nino, you're a guest of Nino's tonight. We'll watch the baseball game. Can you please put that on him, Sid?
Yeah, put that on the.
Put it on the champion. Put it on the champion.
Put it on Berserk.
No, you don't put it on the back. You put it in the front.
Well, just calm down, Bo. He's going to get it on.
Okay.
It's 14 after the hour here in the Amish Women program.
Look at this. That's some bell, huh?
Don't embrace him, Sid. Just put the bell on.
Give him a kiss, Sid.
That's great.
Look at that.
Look at that.
Wow, that is great.
You know,
all right,
and again from Jimmy Benz again, who was the head of WBC.
Hey, Julie, this banana is unacceptable.
No, that's not going to work.
It's got black stuff on it.
Yeah,
eat it,
please.
Unless we can get a banana with no black stuff on it.
It's not the WBC, it's the WBA, the World Boxing Association. Let me clear that up. World Boxing Association. And tonight we'll be at Nino's drinking and partying. and talking about your victory.
Where's Nino's?
Nino's is on 72nd and First Avenue. They got the TV right in the front. We watched the baseball game. We watched the football game. Sid's a regular up there. And yeah, we're all going to be
Any restaurant with Sid's picture has got to be.
Yeah, you can't stay out.
About 2 minutes from the health department.
Where do you eat at the post office?
Quarter after the hour.
Now Garcia throws over his head. And did it tip the bat? Apparently it did, and Garcia is just steaming. He is looking at Pedro, and the Yankee bench is screaming.
Best-selling author Robert B. Parker has been called the...
Some more coffee.
Yeah, I would like
Things a nightmare.
Yeah, I'll take some.
The best bananas have brown spots on them. I don't like them.
Well, they don't. It doesn't mean anything.
I don't care. I don't like them. I don't care what it means. I don't like them. 21 minutes after the hour, and I don't like you.
But if you don't have a couple of them...
I don't want any brown spots on them. I don't like it. Well, I don't care. 21 minutes after the hour here in the Amish Morning Program on radio. On MSNBC, Bo Dietl, see what's going on, Bo.
Hey, Don. Yeah, you know, that stuff we did with the drugs online, I like to make a little public service announcement now. I want all parents to realize how easy it is for children to go online and buy drugs without prescriptions. And you have to be aware of what's going on with your child and talk to your kids and make sure that they know that this is not the right way until we get legislation in. And the DEA is vigorously going at these websites. So if you buy drugs online, beware that the DEA will be coming down on you and coming down on these websites. It's just a shame they got this legislation before the United States Senate right now. It's this Goodnick bill. If it ever is passed, 25 countries, including South Africa, where 65% counterfeiting, these drugs are going to come into our system. These are going to be counterfeit drugs. And what's going to happen is the counterfeit drugs will come into our system. There's 2,500 Nigerian little children died of counterfeit drugs from Africa there. They had malaria.
How are these people able to order drugs online?
Well, the point is we did a whole investigation here. What we did is a whole investigation how easy it is. You can set up a website for $50. You set up a website. All of a sudden you're contacted by these wholesalers all over the world. And then the drugs start coming in. Drugs coming in from Pakistan, from all these foreign countries.
Yeah, but you can order them from places in the United States.
Well, you don't know where they're coming from. What's happening is you have this...
Well, they come from places in, Texas, Alabama.
Here's some facts.
Florida, wherever.
3.3 billion prescriptions a year Americans sign up for. It is, everyone says, the drugs are cheaper in Canada and all that. What's happened is they cannot supply the full amount. So then it comes to the black market. With the black market, they re-import these drugs through Canada into the United States of America. The best thing to do with this thing is to get some pricing there as far as with the drug companies where we can get free medication for people over 62 and all that. There are actual numbers, and this is something that people don't realize. If people can't afford their prescriptions, there's an 800 number by the pharmaceutical companies. They'll give you free drugs. It's 800-762-4636.
Some of these places where you order drugs, it's a lot more than
you'd get in the drugstore. Now it's just funny. The head of the FDA has said we cannot control if they're counterfeit or if they're bad drugs, so please don't order them. That's like if the head of the FAA says don't fly in the 737 or don't fly in the Citation 10. I don't think you're getting on the Citation 10. The head of the Canadian FDA said we cannot assure and have responsibility for any drugs coming through. What we have to do now is the American public has to call up their congressmen and senators and say, let's not pass this bill. Let's control. I'm for cheaper drugs also for people, but we need safety to come in, and I'm not going to preach anymore about it. But
thank you.
Parents, please.
Oh, you're wearing sound here.
Oh,
he's killing me.
Hey, but this means no.
That's not the way to go.
How did you like? Hey, Bo, how did you like that? This Jimmy Vince come across really nice, 25,000 check. Nice.
Very nice.
So we made more in the fight, right?
We made around $200,000. Wow.
More now with this check, right?
Now brings it to $200,000. I think the guy was good for it.
Yeah.
It is 24 after the hour, and here, sponsored by Tri-State Dietl, is my brother Fred Imus. Good morning, Fred.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you for asking.
What's new?
Can you order Xanax online?
Yeah, you can order anything you want online, but be aware the DEA will be at your doorstep in the very near future. I've spoke to some of the higher-ups in Washington. They're going to be cracking down on this crap. They're not going to stand for it, and they're pissed off.
I challenge the DEA to find Fred's doorstep. I challenge it.
Where does he live? He has a traveling doorstep.
How'd you do on your football picks, Fred?
Well, I did very well, thank you. I was 4-2.
It's not bad. How'd you do, Sid?
I was 1-2, actually. 1-2. Only make 3 picks. I did do well last week.
Yeah, I got the Jets game right. I got Dallas right. I missed Jacksonville. Got Kansas City right. Tampa Bay right. Missed the Giants.
Got lucky with Kansas City. They never should have won that game yesterday.
Yeah,
I could do that.
And even the Seahawks last night. The Seahawks dropped the ball last night.
Yeah.
They were covering the spread, and then also they choke it, David.
That's the way it
Like
goes.
in a nice game, Fred.
Well, this can be kind of hard to watch, but it's football and it's on, so you almost have to watch it. I'd probably take St. Louis.
Why wouldn't you watch a baseball game?
Well, I'd switch back and forth,
Oh, I see.
I want to see them have another fight, I guess. Probably have another fight tonight, huh?
Cool.
Fred is 11-point
Probably
spread.
not, no.
11-point spread, Fred.
What do you like in the baseball game?
Oh, I think the Yankees are going to go ahead and win that now.
What do you think, Sid?
Oh, I think he's right. And if you've been watching this show all along, Fred, you've heard me.
Say predict Boston, guarantee Boston.
That's right. Well, I did kind of do that, but after further review now, it looks like the Yankees are probably, yes, they've got the...
Boston's over with, And so is that team in Florida. They're going to get blown out tomorrow night.
Probably so.
I mean, that series is over, too.
Charles hates the Cubs, by the way.
Yeah. You do? Why? Hey, how's your dogs doing, Charles?
Oh, they're doing fine. He's the national champion again deal.
What do you mean?
The little female that Mrs. McCord has out is the
national champion?
Well, yeah, the number 1 Boston Terrier at the moment.
You ever sell any of these dogs?
No.
You going to breed that dog?
Yeah, we send, they do that thing where they freeze the
Charles is
semen and send it around, yeah.
You got to see that movie Good Boy. It's about these dogs from outer space that talk, Charles. Very funny, very funny. Took little Bo yesterday.
True story?
Very funny story for
Seen
kids.
the trailer, yeah.
Yeah, Good Boy. The dogs are from another planet, and the Great Dane is in charge of all these dogs. They all know how to speak English and everything, but they're pulling it off on all the people. In other words, they were sent to Earth to be in charge of Earth. But instead, the masters are in charge of them.
Please, you got to stop it. You got to stop with this dog thing.
Stop. Dog thing.
Please, shut up about the
Little
dog.
Bo liked it. I liked it. They looked here in the eye. Looked here in the eye. It was nice.
So when's this dog's next show?
I have no idea.
He does not think about it.
I really don't, because it's Mrs. McCord's hobby.
Doesn't the dog live with you?
Oh, shut up about the dogs already, Fred. Please.
No, the dog
Shut up.
with the hand.
Talk about this in your own show.
You both own a dog and you don't even know where the dog is.
No, I don't know where the dog is.
You have a wife and you don't even know where the hell she is.
Yeah, what do you want? What the hell are you talking about?
Come on. Has she joined you, by the way?
Not yet.
Oh, my God.
Jesus. What else going on?
Well, this blonde's sitting around her house with some of her friends, and she hears a noise outside, So she runs out there, and somebody's stealing her car, So she runs back in the house, and somebody says, "Hey, did you get a good look at the person who stole your car?" And she says, "No, I got something better. Got the license number." Unfortunately, I don't have a backup joke. I like to have a backup joke. This one just
Hanging up
flat.
works.
Hey, I do have a backup joke.
What's that?
Well, this woman, she's complaining to her doctor, She says, when my husband climaxes, he just screams, And the doctor says, well, he says, that's not all that unusual. That's kind of what's supposed to happen. And she says, yeah, but it just keeps waking me up.
Oh, my God.
I don't have another backup joke.
Keep talking. A religion. We are building it bigger. We are widening the corridors and adding more lanes. We are building a religion, a limited edition. at his location, but you'd better come with cash. Now his hat is on backwards. He can show you his tattoo. He is in the music business. He is calling you Imus in the morning.
Open, the small business network from American Express, where small business owners come for solutions. The following dialogue between American Express business card members can be found at OpenNewYorkCity.com.
This is John Giove. I'm co-owner of Giove Company, located in Jamaica, Queens. We're paper recyclers. One of my biggest concerns is cash flow. Where can I go for financing when banks tell me I'm too big for one of their SBA loans and too small for a regular commercial loan?
This is Santa Cruz from Salon Santa Cruz in the Flatiron District. I found an organization through my accountant that offers micro loans. The loan was for less than what commercial banks offer, but it was enough to get me through.
This is Rosalind Resnick. I'm president and CEO of Access Business Centers in Lower Manhattan. Well, if you've got receivables, you may want to sell them to a factor who will buy your paper at a discount and give you cash to run your business. You may also want to try private investors or strategic partners. In other words, bigger companies who believe in your business.
This is Benjamin Barchet, owner of Barchet Brokerage, Inc., a boutique real estate firm in Manhattan. John, one of the things you might want to consider is approaching some of your larger customers, specifically ones that you have a very good relationship with. You may find that they will be positioned to lend you the money you need.
Do you have something to say about this issue? Do you have a question of your own? If you're a small business owner, American Express invites you to join the dialogue online or even on the air in a community forum just like this one. To find out how, log on to OpenNewYorkCity.com. And while you're there, see how our financial solutions can give you the flexibility you need. It's all...
Abrams and the rest of them, but...
Isn't John Edwards the guy that comes from beyond? You go beyond or something?
No, it's a different guy.
Oh, I thought he was going beyond.
The guy might as well.
Has as much chance of becoming
Exactly. Here with the headlines, Chuck McCord. Charles?
Okay, I-Man. U.S. counterterrorism authorities saying that some terrorists who prompted a nationwide warning in September, about September 4th, have been captured and have since confirmed plans that they were planning another attack in the United States, of multiple simultaneous attacks. And though they have some of these guys, they also say that some involved in that planning are still out there, still on the loose. A U.S. soldier is dead. Another hurt after an armored vehicle they were riding in drove over a landmine in northern Iraq. Earlier, a two-car suicide bomb attack killed at least a half dozen Iraqis and hurt dozens more in Baghdad. The president will seek to bypass what he calls the filter of the media to make his case on Iraq, going to some TV outlets that don't regularly cover the White House. He says the major news media are not focusing sufficiently on the progress that is being made in Iraq. And Egyptian twin boys have their first chance at independent lives after surgery successfully separated the 2-year-olds, though they remain in a drug-induced coma and will remain in that state for the next few days while they recover after this huge operation that was carried out in Dallas, Texas. Yes, sir?
Kind of like Rush. Kind of like me back in the 80s.
Exactly. You know that well.
Yeah.
And after months of campaigning, Congressman Dennis Kucinich formally launches his bid today for the Democratic presidential nomination, and the billionaire widow of the founder of McDonald's died yesterday at age 75, Joan Kroc.
36 minutes after the hour here on the Imus Morning Program, and now live from Boston, Mike Barnacle. Morning, Mr. Barnacle.
Good morning, Mr. Imus. How are you?
Good. So, I know that you... Actually, I happened to see you. This is unbelievable. No, it's not unbelievable. I was doing something Sunday morning.
Yeah?
Watching either George Stephanopoulos or somebody.
Yeah.
And I was checking around, and there you showed up on one of the ESPNs.
Oh, yeah. You have less of a life than I do.
I know that, yeah. I mean, like 5 people saw you. Well, maybe more. But so, where are we now with the, what happened? Was it Saturday?
It was Saturday night.
Now, you were there. You have season tickets, right?
Yeah, I was right in the front row, right there at the rail, as they say. Top of the fourth inning, Pedro Martinez, out of ego, out of pure ego, nothing else, because of his frustration with the Yankees' ease with which they were hitting him, threw at marginal ball player, a right fielder, 2 men on, nobody out. He didn't have to hit him. He hit him. The Yankee right fielder
that set things off. The bottom, a fight ensued later on in the inning when Manny Ramirez, a complete moron, regards a pitch that is high and over the middle of the plate, nowhere near hitting him in the head, as a threat from Roger Clemens. I mean, they start dropping the F-bombs. You can hear all this from where I'm sitting, even with the crowd, because I'm right there in the rail.
Yeah.
The two of them from the Red Sox, Martinez and Ramirez, two Dominican divas, out. Get them out. Ruin the Red Sox season. The Red Sox had so much goodwill coming into this series. I mean, nationally as well as, within Major League Baseball, because it was a great team, a great bunch of guys. Two guys, one in particular, Martinez, took their season away.
What was the feeling around Boston about Don Zimmer?
I think the feeling around Boston about Zimmer was that everybody loves the guy. He's a wonderful, wonderful guy. I've known him for a long time. What done? Were you out of your mind doing this? Were you crazy? He clearly was. I don't think a whole lot of people blame Pedro Martinez for stepping aside and throwing him to the ground. Zimmer clearly, if you look at the replay, was sitting somewhat, maybe trying to throw a punch at Pedro. I understand that on Zimmy's part. I mean, when Don Zimmer was 22 years of age, he's one of the finest Major League prospects ever, playing for the old Dodgers. Come up through the Dodgers chain, he got hit in the head. He was in a coma for 14 days. They thought he was going to die. And he made it back into Major League Baseball, even enduring that. And so he's got to resent headhunters, and he regards Martinez as a headhunter. But, people love Zimmer. They don't blame Martinez for throwing him to the ground, but I think people, if they think about it, and they ought to think about it, should blame Pedro Martinez for starting the whole thing and reigniting the Yankee team that you could have had on the ropes. You could have done this to them. They are not a great team, but now this thing is gone.
Who's not a great team?
The Yankees.
Your team, first of all, I hate your team. Your team sucks. What do you mean they're not a great team? They would have crushed you, a bunch of choking losers anyway, without this incident. Pedro Martinez.
They just get separated from the head, know more about baseball than you do.
Hey, I don't have to know anything about baseball to know that your team's a bunch of choking losers. That's all I need to know.
You're a choking loser, you old fool.
You bald-headed stooge. Your team sucks and they're losers, and they're going to lose tonight.
I mean, why don't you call up Minnie Pearl and see if she can still come to a look-alike contest with you?
Oh, snap. Easy, Mike. Why don't you call George Carlin and get some more material?
Conversation is
lows in the lower 50s, increasing cloud with rain likely for tomorrow, highs in the mid-70s. This report is brought to you by 6 Dance Lessons in 6 Weeks, the new Broadway comedy starring the divine Polly Bergen and the delightful Mark Hamill. It's never too late to learn a few new moves. Call telecharge.com today. I'm Janice Dean with the Toyota Fan Highway Patrol.
14 to the hour here in the Imus-Oct program on the radio and on MSNBC. I got ugly with Barnacle, didn't it?
Wow. Yeah, certainly did. My God. Name calling.
Why?
Well, as it should be, though, between the Red Sox and the Yankees.
But he immediately makes it personal.
Yes, he did.
No, he doesn't want to start that fight because he's going to lose that every time.
Mm-hmm.
Bald-headed stooge.
Not good.
No. But his
team sucks and he sucks.
Yeah, now I never was a Red Sox hater. I was hoping to see him do good. Now I really dislike him.
Why?
They're spoiled losers.
Well, how did you root for the Yankees? They didn't back up Zimmer.
Yeah.
That's the reason enough to root for the Red Sox.
Everybody's calling Pedro Martinez a punk. He didn't do anything wrong.
He may be a punk, but the other guys are pussies on the Yankees.
Well, yeah, he is a punk.
Don, may I have a second to congratulate my Italian brothers around America?
No.
It's Columbus Day.
No, it is.
Columbus Day. I mean, let's have some kind of congratulation.
About what?
Our Italian brothers out there.
What did they do?
Italian brothers came over. They took the money from Queen Isabella, and then they landed in the Caribbean there. Did you know he took slaves back with him? Columbus took slaves back to Spain.
Great, we should be congratulated for that, right?
No.
Came over, killed all the Indians.
Hold on, Marconi, Galileo.
Took slaves.
We had great Italians. Look at Marconi, Galileo. There were some great Americans.
That was the mafia.
Well, sure, it was a fine organization at one point until the FBI destroyed the whole central structure of organization there. And I just want to wish my Italian brothers a very bamba miska.
Oh, listen to
Listen
that means
congratulations.
Shut up, God. I'm begging you.
That's Italian.
Wow. Yeah, listen to this email I got. All right, here we go. Hi, man, you are a hypocrite. How can you pick on Russia's drug addiction when you were in the same place? Didn't you learn anything? Are you in some way a superior man? Shut up.
Oh, come on.
No, nobody made more. Oh, God. Everybody made fun of me. Everybody.
And still
does.
And you laugh about it.
Yeah, Russ is a fat, pill-popping loser and an undisciplined slob who was turning his mate into a drug pusher, and she was the one who's going to go to prison. And as soon as he gets caught, starts whining and crying about he's not a victim, he's going to rehab because he can't get any more pills, and he's going to go to prison. So
he had no
tolerance for people who used drugs before.
Yeah, you know what I didn't like? He used to knock all the people that were all druggies and all that when he was popping these suckers himself.
And Joe Scarborough on TV whining about you can't make fun of Rush Limbaugh. Shut up, you redneck nitwit. Well, I mean, get over it.
Pop some more Viking.
You know, his housekeeper provided documentation that she sold Limbaugh more than 30,000 prescription pills between July 2001 and June 2002.
This guy wasn't dead.
A year.
30,000 in a year.
Maybe he was selling and reselling, reimportation of drugs.
Well, how could you take 30,000 pills? Break that down 365 into 30,000.
I have to get my computer out.
It's like 100 a day.
That's what he was doing, supposedly.
100 pills a day.
That's what we heard last week.
Hold on.
Hold on.
When you lock up somebody, when I was a detective, when you locked up somebody with a certain amount, it was presumed that they were selling it. Now, I'm wondering if the presumption here is the amount that he had, that it was impossible to ingest them himself. Imagine if he had a little business on his side.
Well, no, I don't think so. I mean, I think he does that. I mean, he was doing Vicodin, Oxycontin, Lorcet. He was hoarding them, too. Maybe not doing them all. Right. It could very well be. But my God.
What's your favorite, Charles?
My favorite what?
The pills.
I don't take any pills.
Oh, that's good.
Remember one time last year he took one of those pills, he almost died.
Oh, my God.
He almost died right here in the studio.
I will never forget that. Remember when I took
Charles
that one?
Vicodin because he was having so much pain?
He almost died.
I've never been so sick.
Remember when you took the Viagra that time? When you took the Viagra?
Yeah, I do remember.
This guy's taking 100 of those a day, Charles.
Oh, my God. How do you do that?
Brent Favre was taking 50 Vicodin a day.
It's Lorcet.
What do they feel like, Tom, when you take a Vicodin? I'm serious.
Well, if you just take one or two.
What does it feel like? What kind of a high do you get?
You don't get a high from
nothing.
What do you do? Get like a rhongigacious?
No,
you feel something in your loins? What do you
No, I guess you have to take a lot of them to get that.
But it simply relieves pain,
They relieve pain if you take them as they're prescribed. If you're taking more that's on than it says to take on a little jar,
No, they really
then you're taking them for some of the
but what is the high? What is the high?
I don't know.
There is no high. It's not a drug. It makes you feel drowsy, like a muscle relaxer.
I feel drowsy every day.
It's like Quaaludes. You ever do Quaaludes in the 70s and 80s?
No. I think if you take a lot of them, there's some different. It does something. It does something.
You must get like a good tickly feeling or something.
No.
Why do you take
Boy,
it?
it'd make taking 50 of them.
No, I'm saying you get a tickly feeling.
No tickly feeling. What are you talking about?
I'm just saying there must be some kind of a good feeling. What are you taking them for? Even to get high?
No,
what kind of high?
You take them for pain.
Understood.
And then you get a why do you take more?
Yes.
I don't know.
Yes. I truly don't know because I've never taken a Vicodin.
I don't know why.
And I couldn't tell you either.
I would think if you took.
I'd rather.
I would think if you took more than. I would think if you took more than 2 of this, you would. First of all, it would shut your system down.
2 at a time.
Well, it also depends on the milligrams. I mean, you can take more than 2. You survive.
Well, yeah, you survive, but it will shut your system down. You can't function.
Yeah.
Can't talk. You can't. I wouldn't think.
Hey, I hate that feeling. I'll never forget. I was
It
always.
would be. I mean, if you're taking 100, Brent Favre was taking 50 a day.
I know. I'll never forget. 17 years old. I was in Rockaway Beach.
Yeah, that's just unusual.
17 years old, Rockaway Beach. I was with this girl, and she had a thing called Sunshine. This is in 1967, and so she says like this is a trip, right?
Sure.
I said, where are we going on a trip? So she says, I took half of it. I was on a roller coaster in Rockaway Playland, right? The whole roller coaster felt like it was flying up the thing. I was walking around. I saw things coming like blotches and all this. And I swear to God, after that, I never wanted to. I took a half of the Sunshine.
Sure.
I said, you got beat. I took the whole thing. It was like a saccharin tablet, right? I then went to my friends on the corner. I said, hey, guys, I don't know what to do. I can't go home. My father beat the crap out of me if he sees me this way. So the guy gave me a red pill. It was a second all. And he says, take this second all before you go home. So I took the second all, and then I was in my room, and I saw these things flying through the wall and stuff. After that, I swear to you, that was the last time I did it, and I became a policeman there. But, it's good to know these things. That's why I was asking you about Viking. What do you feel? What do you get out of it?
He could have done it. 30,000 in a year is 82 a day.
Wow.
Pills a day. So I guess
you must have been seeing things flying through
you
the
could have done it.
Right?
82 a day.
82 a day.
Well, we should ask Sid, because I'm sure Sid has...
Sid, what's going on in sports?
Well, obviously they got rained out last night. Game 4 did not take place between the Yankees and the Red Sox. We're all looking forward to that after the Don Zimmer incident on Saturday night. So they'll play Game 4 instead I-Man tonight from Boston. Mike Mussina will pitch for the Yankees, and Tim Wakefield will pitch for the Red Sox. Also, tonight, Monday Night Football features the Rams as double-digit favorites against the Atlanta Falcons. No Michael Vick tonight, I-Man, so this game doesn't have nearly the amount of excitement. Doug Johnson is the quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons, the former Florida product. So the Rams are double-digit favorites tonight.
11.
The spread is 11. Thank you, Bo. And yesterday, of course, a couple of teams that remain undefeated in the NFL include, the Carolina Panthers, who beat the Colts yesterday, 23-20 in overtime, and the Kansas City Chiefs, who beat the Packers yesterday, 40-34 in overtime. So now there are 3 teams in the NFL that have not lost yet. You've got the Chiefs at 6-0, the Panthers at 5-0, and the Minnesota Vikings, who are off yesterday. They're also at 5-0.
82 pills a day if you're up 16 hours, say. Chuck.
Right.
That's 5 pills an hour.
Right. Oh, no, that's ridiculous. He's got to be selling them then.
No, not necessarily. I understand it.
You could build up a tolerance.
Could you
build up a tolerance?
I mean, you start very early and you take your lessons very late and get up middle of the night and take a few more.
Wow.
Or something. I mean, we know he was taking. I mean, he admits to 30. What the hell was it? It was 30 Vicodin. 30 OxyContin.
That's
hillbilly heroin, right?
That's synthetic heroin.
Yeah, they call it, exactly, the hillbilly heroin.